Hi, my name is Gracie May, and you are locked into World Music Views. Hello,
Hi, hi, hi.
how are you?
I'm great. Gracie May.
Lovely to meet you. Sorry, I'm joining you from my car.
I realize. Welcome to World Music Views, all the same.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, first of all, just tell us who you are and how you got your present job.
So, I am Gracie May. I am a music executive and an entertainment journalist. I've been on radio for the last 8 years. I've been in publicity for the last 4 to 5 years. And I work with artists like Bob Marley, Oxlade, and Bella Schmurder. At the moment, I am also a member of the Grammys, the Brits, the Movos, and the BET Awards as a voting member. Excuse me. And with the Grammys specifically, I am a mentor as well as part of the outreach program with a focus on recruiting more African music executives to the Academy.
So, you say you work with Bob Marley. That's the Bob Marley?
The Bob Marley, I'm working with his estate. We've run 2 campaigns for him so far, and we're looking to do some more work during the year.
Is there anything you can tell us about those campaigns?
Yes, I can. So in January, he dropped a song with Sarkodie, which was a remix to Stir It Up or a remake to Stir It Up. 2 weeks ago, he dropped another remake with Tiwa Savage for Waiting in Vain. And over the next couple of weeks and months, you'll see some more African collaborations with the view of dropping a project in the summer. And I've heard the project, it's amazing. It's got all of the Afrobeats artists you can imagine, and it's a great way to merge the diaspora, Caribbean meeting Africa in a beautiful harmony, synergy. Yeah, it's a really great project, so I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
So, this is Afrobeats Nigerian artists doing remixes of Bob Marley classics.
So Sarkodie's Ghanaian, Tiwa Savage is Nigerian, and we have representation from across the continent on the project. So I can't say much more, but I think everyone will be happy with the features that they'll see on the project.
So, who is doing it? Which record label is doing it?
So Bob Marley's estate and his catalogue is with Island Records. So I'm working with Island Records and with his daughter Sadella for this rollout.
Oh wow. Oh, why what's the interest with I mean, Bob was always Africa. Bob was always saying champion in Africa. But what's the interest in both the estate and merging with Afrobeats and Afrobeats merging with Bob Marley?
So there's a single that Bob Marley has out called Africa Unite. And it speaks to the fact that we're all one people. And I think the family specifically had a keen interest to make this a reality. A lot of the songs that we're gonna hear over the next couple of months have been like 5 years in the making. This concept and this project has been 5 years in the making, and the pandemic threw a spanner in the works. But yeah, I think it might be better to get Sandela on this platform so she can speak to you herself. Um, but yeah, I think it's just a beautiful time. African music is going global, and it's really a nod to how far we've come with the estate and the family specifically saying, "Hey, we want to get in on the action, and we want to revive some of the classics that we know and love."
Oh, I love that. I love those stories. But you're also working with the Grammys, which is why I asked you for this interview. African music, particularly Afrobeats, I'm a piano, is taking over Western pop. It's on the charts. It's being certified gold, silver, platinum, even diamond. So it's here, and it's making a mark, right? The three people I have behind me, Rema, Berna, Thames, missing is Wizkid. They are pop acts. Rema has the top three song on the Hot 100. Thames debuted at #1. Berna out of this world with his live shows. What are your thoughts on Afrobeats Ascension? Like, what do you credit it? Like, why did it become global pop right now?
So I love the fact that we're having this moment, and I'm hoping that it's more than just a moment. I'm hoping that it's a movement. But I think music from the continent has consistently been released, and the quality has been consistently there. We just haven't had the interest and the eyeballs. So I'm so grateful to globalization. I'm grateful to platforms like TikTok. I'm grateful to the eras that have come before us. So we've had the reggae slash dancehall slash bashment era. We had the reggaeton era, and the dial or the focus has shifted to the continent. I think people like Wizkid and Davido have been putting out music consistently for 12 years on the major labels, right? Burna joined in around about 10 years ago, and I think the Three Kings basically inspired a lot of the acts that we see today. So not just Thames and Rema that you've mentioned there, but we've got Fireboy, who has songs with people like Ed Sheeran, Omale, who's got songs with people like Justin Bieber, Oxlade, who's got songs with people like Camila Cabello. And I think what we're finding is that a lot of these artists, with the strength in their numbers, the quality of their music, they're able to then have these amazing collaborations, which is then taking their reach and their influence and impact a lot further past the 54 countries in Africa and to the world.
So then now we have the Grammys. Last year, I interviewed Harvey Mason Jr. He said that I asked him, first of all, if there would be Afrobeats on stage. He said, not quite yet, because you have bigger genres. I could see Burna Boy being there. But one of the questions I asked him was about the categories, because Africa really only had world music. So now we're seeing Africa with Best African Performance. What do you think of that name? Do you think it diminishes? And tell us a little bit about how the category came about, since you had a role to play in it.
Yeah, so I was part of the proposal committee, and I was a co-author for the proposal that goes forward. So just a bit of context, in the Grammys, every new category that is created is off the back of a proposal. The Academy is very much a community-based organization. And so any new categories that come to fruition is based off of somebody somewhere saying, okay, we think this would be a good idea, seeing who else thinks it would be a great idea, and then pitching it and positioning it with data, impact, etc. So that's exactly what I did with the Best African Music Performance category. I was very heavy on providing the right data, providing context, and yeah, just kind of giving my expertise as someone that has worked in African music for so long. I think I championed the name Best African Music Performance because if we had gone down the genre specific route, it wouldn't have been representative, it wouldn't have been inclusive. And if we had decided to say Afrobeats, that would have left out bongo flavor in East Africa, it would have left out Amapiano in South Africa, it would have left out High Life in Ghana, it would have left out a lot of people. And so I think, as much as it's an umbrella term, I'm hoping that moving forward, in the next couple of years, we'll be able to be more genre specific. But for now, I think it's a great advancement for the music and for the culture. As you mentioned, we were under the global category. And so now there are three global categories. It's Best Global Music, Best Global Performance, and Best African Performance. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see how the African space develops under the global category.
So I'm talking to you right now from Jamaica, right? And dancehall has been around longer than Afrobeats, longer than Amapiano, maybe not longer than High Life, but African music has evolved from Afrobeat to Afrobeats, right? But dancehall don't have no best dancehall performance, even though dancehall has had global start. What do they need to do and take us through the steps? You said you use a specific language. Tell the audience right now, what do they need to do to get dancehall a Grammy category for itself?
So one, like I mentioned, the Grammys is a community-based organization. So members within the Academy have to see that there's merit in it, have to put forward a proposal. That proposal is then reviewed by the board, as well as trustees, and there's a whole screening process. And if the proposal is successful, that's when award is created. So as much as I am part of the global outreach, I'm not aware of all the different pitches that have gone through. And it's possible that somebody has submitted a proposal, but they haven't been able to evidence that there will be enough submissions for that category. Within the Grammys, what they call a healthy category is something or a genre or on awards that they can guarantee they'll get a minimum of 100 submissions for. I think with having best reggae, there may be some maybe confusion or conflict to say, okay, actually, reggae could be a very healthy category, but maybe dancehall isn't. But really, I think it's probably most probably down to the fact that either there aren't the right people pitching it, there isn't enough data to prove that it would be a healthy category, or it's gone through the process, hasn't been successful, and has to happen again. So, for context, when you submit a proposal for a new category in the Grammys, there is a waiting period. So if you don't get it approved, it's roughly 2 to 3 years before you can apply again. So yeah, I'm confident that with this advancement, that that will definitely open up more conversations so that the Grammys can be more representative.
Oh, I love that. I love the work that you're doing. Tell us some of the publications that you've written for, and tell us how you assist in the selling of music and PR and your artists. What's your job day to day?
My job is so varied. This week is a key example. I came off of the plane from Lagos, Nigeria at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. I went straight to a video shoot with one of the artists that I co-manage, which was great. Yesterday, he had a headline show of 2,000 people in the UK, and being a Nigerian artist, that's crazy. But a typical day like that would have meant that I was at sound check. I was feeding back. I was coordinating with the planners, with security, attending security briefings, making sure that the stylist was in place. My day can be so varied, but if we go back to the first question, who do I write for? So I've been featured and I consistently write for Pause Magazine, The F Word, and Tirade World. To date, I've interviewed over 220 African musicians, everyone from Davido to Yemi Alade to Tiwa Savage, Olamide Band, as well as the new school guys, so Joe Boy, Fireboy, Omale, Thames, Iris Star. The list is very, very long. As a publicist, my job is to amplify the artist and magnify the sound. And so I will do campaign planning. I'll pitch them for placement across press, publications, within promo and playlisting. And my background is law, IT, and marketing. So I take all of that and make sure that I can increase their visibility and increase their reach as well as their streams. So yeah, my day to day is very varied. No 2 days are the same.
If dancehall artists wanted to stream, like say a Burna Boy, or any other African artist, what do they need to do?
To be honest, one, I would really encourage artists to get a good structure in place, like really understand the ecosystem of music. The capacity to earn money through streams is limited, but there are also other avenues to make revenue within the music scene. So things like publishing, things like sync and licensing. I would also say that one thing that is a key factor to promoting music is funds. So if you don't have an investor and you're independent, I would definitely look at exploring different distribution options, whether it's a distribution deal or anything, or a joint venture. Yeah, I think capital is really important. And then just pump it into promo, like get into what Gen Z and Gen Alpha are all about, whether it's exploring how to blow your music on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts. Having a strong social media presence is definitely key in this day and age. But not just that, it's really understanding your sound and understanding your brand and making sure that you're marketing your music to the right audience in the right way. So yeah, I've said quite a lot, but hopefully you're able to unpack all of that.
I see you typed on Twitter this morning, after a relatively stagnant 6 months in African music, I'm really interested to see how today's releases go. Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to, one? And two, why you say it has been a stagnant 6 months? Because African music been like running the place.
Yeah, so congratulations to all the releases that have come out today. So CK has dropped a deluxe project, Ashake has dropped an album, Omale has dropped a deluxe project, Sean Tizzle has dropped an album, We are not starving when it comes to new releases today. And I think my reflections are more around the fact that there have been a high volume of music that have come out this year, but the penetration has maybe been a little bit lost due to saturation. I think there's a lot of eyes on African music right now. There's a lot of eyes on Afrobeats right now. And I feel like in as much as people have been producing quality music, there haven't necessarily been quality rollouts, so the music hasn't necessarily been sticking. And why I said relatively stagnant is because obviously we've seen people like Davido drop his Timeless album, which has been everywhere, and he's done that amazingly well. Joe Boy has had a great run with his project as well. So yeah, I just feel like Oldie Black as well has popped out from I want to say relative obscurity to having quite a household name right now. And the Ghanaian scene has been a bit touch and go. So yeah, I think we're in a place where Amapiano is really dominating, and the phase of West Africans and East Africans trying to replicate that sound has kind of hit a standstill. So music isn't really penetrating the way it did this time last year. And those are just my personal thoughts. But who am I listening to? I love Bella Shmurda. Obviously, he's my artist. I love Oxlade. He's my artist. I'm really into Escort. So she is a female out of Nigeria doing amazing work. I'm loving Ira Star, obviously. Yeah, I'm really consuming a lot of Uncle Waffles as well. And now that I'm saying that, a lot of the female artists that are doing their thing right now are dominating my playlist. So yeah, kudos to all the girls that are doing their thing.
I love Uncle Waffles. You know what I'm gonna ask you? If you could do me this one favor, I'd love to talk to you every week for like 15 minutes for you
Yeah.
to run down what's happening in Afrobeats, and I'll put it out on World Music Views. Just say,
I love that. Let's do it.
Just like how you because a lot of Jamaicans want to know these acts, right? I know some of them, but you just mentioned a lot of people, and I believe that ecosystem, like even the ones with that don't have a good roll up, just mentioning them, people are gonna be peaked, like, oh, this person is out, you know. So every week we can pick a time. We just do a 15 minutes. Doesn't have to be a long interview. Where you just say, this person's out, and just give me an Afrobeats review, because that's like dope what you just did just now.
I love that. I'm down for it. And you know what? I will definitely signpost you to two people that are very consistent. At midnight on Friday, these two playlisters give you the rundown on new music that is dropping that day or the previous week. So the Tolu Daniels on Twitter and Deji the Plug on Twitter have two of the most popping playlists. They literally miss no one. Everyone that has dropped from Nigeria, Ghana, they're very West Africa focused, I will say that. So if you do want to figure out what's happening in East Africa or South Africa, they're maybe not the best. But if you want an entry point to figure out, okay, what new music is coming out weekly, they refresh the playlist every single week, have consistently been doing it for, I think, 2 to 3 years. And if I'm ever lost or maybe my inbox isn't full, my inbox is always full. But any days where it's a little bit scarce, I know that I can go to those two guys and they will plug me. But I'm definitely happy to do this as well. I just wanted to signpost those two guys because they're doing amazing work.
Repeat their names again.
The Tolu Daniels. So that's THETOLU Daniels _ on Twitter. And then Deji the Plug. That's DEJI the Plug. And you will see if you're on their pages now, they both have their playlists up and they are available on Apple, Spotify, Audiomack, and Tidal, I believe.
I'm following them now.
Perfect.
That's nice. So this was dope.